A word on Twitter. I think I have some kind of Twitter something somewhere, but Shaka Brown helped me set it up, and then we abandoned it. So I don't even know what the name of it is, but we're going to figure it out next week, along with my website and a bunch of other social media. But my name is Julie Tyler, and I'm going to tell you about the 60-second life. So what if you can live a life in 60 seconds? Would that mean that you have billions of them that stretched over the time that you are spending on Earth? If both of those answers are yes, what are you going to do with all that time? What are you going to do with all of that life? So I'm a serial go-getter. I'm a part-time digital nomad. I'm also an educator, a writer, and an editor. I dance for hours, I run for miles, and I love every minute of it. Every 60-second increment is a life to me because I take all of the value that I spread over my entire life and I put it into each 60-second increment. So I want to tell you about that approach to your life or to your business, but I want to tell you that you don't need to just start doing a bunch of fun stuff on the weekend just randomly, like bungee jumping or just live life to the fullest, because that really has no meaning or life at all. And nor do you want to start multitasking like a crazy person, because that's going to drain you of all of your energy. This is really more about a level of consciousness and value that you bring to all of your time and the life that you put into every single thing that you do. So before I define the 60-second life, I want to tell you what inspired me to have this concept and to live it. The first thing was moving to Miami less than a year ago, and I felt like I didn't know what the heck I was doing. There was all this traffic, there were all these people, and I had to be everyone and everybody and everywhere all at the same time. And I couldn't account for all of the seconds that just ran away from me. So 2 months later, my parents came to visit me in all of this stress and all of this spatial disaster, and I was so stressed out that I had that it was a disaster. I was a terrible hostess. I couldn't get it together as someone who was welcoming my parents into my new city, and we ended up getting into a fight. And before they left, I was so sad, and I just wanted them to stay, and they were going to leave early, but I begged them to stay. But after they left, I wrote a poem to them, and I told them in the poem how much I loved them, and I told them how many steps that I would take to reach them, how many minutes I would spend. And in all of that counting and measuring, I discovered that the best moment we spent together was when we did laundry. We spent 60 seconds sorting laundry, and that, to me, felt like the life that we shared. It felt like a real life and a whole life. The third thing that inspires this concept is an interest in concepts of time from theorists throughout the centuries. And for example, we have Albert Einstein, who has calculated time and space in their relationship so well that he said that if an object is traveling, that it actually experiences time a little bit different than an object that stays stationary, relatively speaking. So for entrepreneurs or digital nomads who are going so fast and they're moving so quickly, what does that mean for your experience with time? So those things inspired the 60-second life, meaning that each 60-second increment, you can pack in the value and the consciousness that you would bring to your entire life and put it in a 60-second increment, meaning that you've got billions of them. You've got lives to live. So each of them has their own birth, the stages of life, and then death, giving life to the next 60-second increment that's going to follow. So what are you going to do with that? What can you concretely do with all of that time, all of that life? So imagine yourself an entrepreneur, and you're closing a sale, and you're watching your client, your new customer, make a decision, the faith that that customer has in your product. So they spend 60 seconds saying yes, and then they sign on the dotted line. Are you going to pay attention to the emotions that that customer is experiencing? Are you going to live a life with that customer? Or imagine yourself the digital nomad. So most of your business relations are through email, perhaps, unless you're traveling. And you're sending an email to thousands of your professional contacts, thousands of your customers and clients. What if you paid attention to each response that you got from that email? So you spent 60 seconds writing it and clicking send. What about all of the sales that you got from that email? What about all of the rejections? What about all of the complaints or customer testimonials? Or what if you're traveling and you're saying goodbye to your partner? What are you going to do in the 60 seconds before you go on that business trip? Are you going to say, I love you? Are you going to kiss them goodbye? Are you going to pay attention and live for that minute? I think if enough people do this, we could create a new culture and change the the corporate lexicon as we know it, meaning that capital isn't just the dollar bills that you spend in your investments to make more money and to make more contacts, but it's really the lives that you can accumulate and leverage in your decisions in each action. So if you decide to take the 60-second approach to your business and to your life, I hope you do it retroactively as well as going forward. And I hope that you can replicate the process the same way that you would replicate your emails and share them with other people. Thank you for sharing 5 of your lives with me.